What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. We have a little bit of a different show. This is kind of a throwback show. It's just me and Greg. We don't have any guests. Gene's not here. He bailed on us. He's up in I don't know some northern New Jersey or whatever, hanging out with somebody that's clearly more important than we are. So we're gonna talk. Oh man, I'm gonna make fun of you, Greg. You're gonna make fun of me. We're gonna both make fun of Gene. It's gonna be awesome. But more importantly, we're gonna answer some questions. We've got some questions here from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. You can throw your questions live right below in the Facebook comments. So me and Greg will be keeping an eye on that. And we're just going to go old school. We're going to handle some objections. We're going to talk about the conversations that are going on right now. We're talking about what Greg's doing right now, the lead gen stuff, the conversations he's having with homeowners that are actually working, and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get rolling.
Did you just delete somebody from the backstage?
Yeah, just like I think somebody accidentally came in.
Okay. Yeah, dude, what's up? It's awesome. I'm doing some recording from my girlfriend's house here in San Francisco. So I apologize for my audio and the lack of light on my face, but I am in a very actually light and bright room. Just it's all behind me. So I have to.
Well, that's what happens when you have a heavy brow. It hangs over your eyes and makes everything dark.
Shut up. Shut up. You call me you in a brow.
Oh, we got Aaron Wittenstein is in the audience listening to us and watching us. What is up, man? He is the founder of the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. We're going to steal some good questions from his group, guys. If you're not already a part of the group, make sure to head over there. Yeah, very easy to find. Lead Gen Scripts and Objections is the name of the group. They're at something like, I don't know, 55,000, 60,000, something like that?
60, almost 70,000.
Almost 70. Okay, good. So it keeps on growing. Lots of great agents in there. And there's a person named Ryan that has a really good question, which is they're getting this objection from sellers, which is, I want to wait to buy because I don't want to overpay. So excuse me, this is an objection from a buyer client. So I want to wait to buy. I don't want to overpay. What do you tell someone right now, Greg, if you're being, let's first of all tackle it. If you're you have plenty of business. The issue isn't, you having enough clients. There's no paycheck on the line or anything like that. What do you tell a buyer that's concerned about paying too much?
Well, you initially ask them, what's the, it means obviously you want to sell at the highest possible price, which in this market today, as this is being recorded in 2021, the prices are astronomically high. So yeah, absolutely sell that thing, go cash heavy. And why not just go ahead and go rent something for 6 months, 12 months, kind of do an Airbnb, maybe buy an RV, go travel around a little bit, do something a little bit different. But I mean, think outside the box, because Matt, you don't even know this yet. I'm actually literally considering selling my house because I know that it's going to be probably at its height when it comes to value. And so I bought it at a certain price and I can sell it for a significantly higher price than what I bought it for. And then I'll just go cash heavy and figure out, maybe I'll rent something for a little bit and then wait for this market to dip down. But it comes down to the wants, needs, and desires of the client. Why are you thinking about selling? Where do you want to buy? In town or out of town? What price point is comfortable for you to purchase? Why are you making this move? Get inside of these folks' brains and really just kind of kick around with your lead tip boots and just see what they're thinking about. Because as soon as you understand what's really going on, if their wife woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or their husband woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and goes, I had a crazy dream. I think we should sell the house. Well, let's unpack that a little bit and figure out where their desires are. And once you do that, then you'll be able to serve the person. 2 years ago, I talked with a client of mine and they told me they wanted to sell. And I literally actively try to talk them out of selling, because I'm like, is this really the best move for you, or is there a better move? And so you get in there and just keep crushing and just, like I said, just figure out what their wants, needs, and desires are, and then execute from that point. And yes, could you overpay for a property? Yes, in this market, absolutely. But here's the issue. And I talked about this at lunch with a couple of guys yesterday. When you buy property, right, you can always refinance out of a higher interest rate. You can never refinance out of a higher purchase price. So let's sell now, rent for 6 to 12 months or 24 months, whatever it's going to be. Yes, are you going to burn a little bit of cash? Yes, you will do that. But you're also not going to have to buy at a super high price, But when you work with my team or someone else like me, like Matt and his wife and their 3 kids, they will help you buy a property that's off the market, and you can get it for potentially a better price than going to the MLS. Long answer, short question. My apologies.
Well, first of all, there's nobody else here to rein you in. I am your certified Greg Wrangler for the day. However, I was shirking my duties. I let you go way over, but it's really good. I mean, I was talking to Greg Harrelson about this. Oh man, it's been a couple of months now since we recorded something together for his show, Level Up, and he was just talking about how the agents that win anytime there's a market like this where the inventory is really tight, like every seller is precious, every seller has a lot of leverage, every seller thinks that they can probably sell it on their own as for sale by owner, and they might actually be right in this case, right? The demand is there, right? He said the people that the agents that win in this market are the ones that can have the tough conversations with the homeowners, right? The ones that can actually get in there and solve problems creatively. As opposed to the ones that will just say like, hey, yeah, I'm going to throw your house up on the MLS. It's going to get 1 million offers. We'll choose the best one, and Bob's your uncle. It's like, well, yeah, that's as Chris Lockett would like to say, and that's what everybody, like anybody, can do that right now. So it's the conversations that you're having, and this is a good example of that. Just that objection from a buyer. Why would I buy into the market right now? It's like, well, if you don't absolutely need to, maybe you shouldn't. So let's dig into why you need to move. Do you need to, or is it just that you want to move? If you just kind of want to move, this might not be the best time for you. And I don't think people realize how few agents will give them that answer. Most agents will tell them, no, the market is great. This is the perfect time. It's like, not for everyone.
No, you can't. And there's a famous script that I absolutely love, and this would actually be perfect when it comes to this. First thing you have to ask the person, do you need to move or do you want to move? Like you just said, right? Identify the need or the want. Okay, let's say it's a want. Why do you want to move right now? Well, my neighbor has a dog that won't stop howling. Okay, is that going to cost? That may cost you a couple $100,000. Are you guys cool with that? My wife is killing me. She wants to move. She can't sleep. Roger that. I hear your thought pattern. Let's execute. Let's get you squared away. And then also, when you're talking to clients, and when I'm talking to clients in this type of a market, you do the pullback method a little bit, because you say to them like, well, Matt, Julie, they're 3 obese, insulin sucking troll babies that dent floors. We know we can't have a 2-story house because they'll fall right through that 2nd story. So we have to have a single story with steel reinforced concrete flooring with no subfloor. But you guys can't see him. He's laughing his ass off.
It's really concrete. We need a concrete condo. Yeah.
Just a bunker. You just need a bunker.
Exactly. It's really a nuclear silo is really the kind of thing we're going for here.
Stupid.
Anyway, the pullback method. Yes. Pullback method. Go on.
You just take it away from them. Say, Matt, actually, let's role play this real quick. Matt,
okay.
I understand you and Julie and the 3 little kidlets are potentially thinking about making a move. This probably might not be the right time. Are you sure this is something you want to do?
Yeah, it's really, we have no choice. Like I got relocated, I got another job basically within my same company. We don't have a choice. Like we got to move.
Okay, you got to move. Not a problem. So, if this might cost you a couple extra bucks, are you sure you want to do this? Because I know you mean, is this a long, you moving from California to Maine kind of a thing, or kind of where you guys landing?
Yeah. So I'm moving to like the Research Triangle, North Carolina. I've got that's where my aviation company I work for has another office there, and so they're going to kick in part of like the relo costs, not all of it. I mean, it depends on what I do, but they'll kick in some of it. So I mean, it's an issue where we have to do it, and I don't want to get into a situation where I'm overpaying if I don't have to, like moving into that new area. But I understand it just seems like prices are high everywhere.
They are high everywhere, and something that Matt, this is a script you've never heard before, so get ready for this.
Oh, hang on, I'm bracing myself as we speak.
Oh, my baby Jesus. So what I would say is this, and it's working legitimately incredible with this next script. And I work with a company called Clever Lead, spelled with a K. And we just, this is a royal we, I didn't do fucking shit, but they locked down a contract with a company with 342 foot, semi tractors. And so what I'm telling people is I'll say, Matt, I understand you're making a move over to North Carolina. What I'm going to do for you, since I know you need to make a move, is I will not only get your home professionally staged, photographs, all of my resources. I'm also going to pay for your move. And it's going to be on my dime. You won't have to pay a thing for it. So, you know what, if that's something of interest, let's sit down and talk about pricing, see what I can do to get you moving. No pun intended. And then we'll get the home on the market ASAP. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, if I can take the whatever the company is willing to put into relo and put it into, I don't know, the down payment or something like that, that would be huge.
Yeah. So let's say your company let's say hypothetically for this argument, they would give you a stipend of $10,000, right? Mm-hmm. for moving costs. That's pretty normal. Say like, you know what, Matt, you told me earlier in another conversation that you were going to be getting about a $10,000 moving stipend. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. I'm going to put that right back in your pocket, and I'm going to be able to contact my movers, and they're going to show up. All you have to do is pack yourself. Now, you and the wife and the kiddos, pack up the house. My movers will come in, look, take your boxes and everything else, move them into the truck, take it across country to North Carolina, and then you won't have to pay a dime for it. So I can put that extra 10 grand in your pocket. Would that be okay with you? Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Okay, let's do this. Let's sit down and talk for 5 minutes, and maybe we can meet at Starbucks or at the house and figure out where we're going to go from here.
Mm-hmm. Well, Starbucks, obviously. I need my Frappuccino. Oh, and scene. Okay.
Who am I talking to? Of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on now. That was really good. Obviously, that's not something that would apply to everybody. Although I will say this: if you're in the, you may not have that same deal. Obviously, we should talk to Greg and get hooked up with what he's doing with our EXP team if you want more details on that. But I'll caveat this by saying, this might not work so well if you don't have that kind of arrangement and you offer to move somebody out of California. You may be paying a pretty penny. But if you're in other places of the country where it's not quite so expensive to move out, that's always something that you could throw in there as an incentive. So rather than, let's say, dropping your commission, it's amazing and astounding to me how many agents will drop their commission by, let's say 7 to 6 or 6 to 5, simply because somebody asked them. But they won't go, hey, instead of dropping my commission, why don't I pay for your move? Because that would save them a ton of money, right? Or something like that. In some cases, it would save them a lot of money. Not in all cases, but enough to where it's worth thinking about. Like rather than dropping your commission, think about offering them something that has a hard cost that you can get at a discount behind the scenes, but to them feels just as valuable and maybe even more valuable than you cutting your commission, because almost everybody will ask if you're willing to.
And they do, and I actually respond to them like this, because, and this is some people might disagree, so put your thoughts in the comments below. What I say is, if my team, the McDaniel Callahan team, sells your home, like if we bring in the buyer, then we'll do it for 4%. Now, a lot of agents are like, that's blasphemy. How dare you lower your commission? You're negotiating against yourself. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you not know math? I went from 2.5% to 4% commission rate because I'm doing both sides, same amount of work. My team's going to do the same amount of work. I nearly doubled my fucking profitability by being able to put another percentage back into my sellers' pockets. So let me,
and more importantly, it's the objection handler that allows you to charge the full 4%. Commission. Right. Yeah. Yes. For on this side. Yeah.
And then you go right back into it. Like, you know what? If my team does it, I'll do it for 4%. If someone else comes in, another agent. So if it's Matt or Bob from Remax, then it will be 5% because I have to pay him 2.5% and I take 2.5%. And on top of everything, I'm going to pay for your move no matter where you are in the lower 48 states. So, do you want to talk?
Yeah, I'm moving to Honduras, so that doesn't apply to me. But sure, it's a nice offer.
Well, you can suck my dick then.
All right, let's do this one. This is from Alicia, same group. And then, guys, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'm keeping an eye on. So, can someone school me on how to get an offer accepted that's contingent upon the selling the buyer's house? I have so many listings that are being held up because their offers are not getting accepted on their next house due to the contingency. Helpful advice only. Telling me what I already know, which is they need to get on the market first, is not helpful. Greg, what say you? How to get an offer accepted that's contingent upon selling the buyer's house?
There's a couple of things. I mean, you could put your initial deposit and make it hard immediately so that the buyer won't get their money back in case like they don't meet their timelines. You can increase your down payment. You can remove different contingencies. Again, these are things that are possibilities. I'm not saying these are always the best ideas. So you could, and then again, this is not something I mean, this is a theory, not something that I would execute personally. You could remove your loan and appraisal contingencies. You could remove all contingencies and make the money go hard. I mean, you could really make it sexy. So let's say instead of putting 20% down, you put 40 or 50% down. Obviously if the buyer has the liquid ability to do that. But now on the flip side of this, it leaves your buyers extremely vulnerable to all kinds of things. That's why we have contingencies. That's why we have these protocols set into place so that your buyer does have an out in case life changes on them. Hello, COVID. I mean, life fucking went upside down on us a year ago, literally this month. And so, I mean, that's something that they could do. But the number one thing is that you have a conversation in a relationship with the other agent and say, yo, Matsko, I got my buyer. His name's Rupert. And he's looking to buy a property. You're looking to buy that property, but we're contingent. What status of the contingency do you need me to be at for us to put an offer in? Do we need to be on the market? Do we need to be pending? I mean, what do you need for this to potentially take place? So the biggest thing is have a relationship and then be creative with the other agent and have good conversations and open dialogue to see what might happen. Because, I mean, you can't force a square peg in a round hole, and your seller and AKA buyer should know that they need to be kind of on point in regards to the way they're going to be running their deals. You have to advise them on that. You can't just sit there and be like, well, whatever you want. No, that's the worst possible thing.
I know it's funny because I was watching, and of course, not all of this is always real life, but if you watch some of the HGTV shows, they'll sit down and go, well, what would you like to offer? It's like, bitch, that's not my job. You're supposed to tell me what I should offer.
Bitch, that ain't my job.
It's insane to me that someone is paying you to be an advisor and you go, well, what would you like to do? I was talking about this with a client yesterday, or in regards to like marketing advice, right? Because there's so many marketing freelancers and people that claim to be strategists, but what they really are is an idea generation machine. They have lots of ideas. Oh, we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this, and this, and this. And I'm like, that's not strategy. That's opportunism at best. That's definitely not strategy. That's not what people are paying for. They're certainly not, like in California, they're certainly not paying you 30, 40, 50 grand in commission on a multi-million-dollar property to come up with ideas. Yeah.
No. Here's the one thing. My girlfriend is an incredible human being. And she was bitching at me.
So you say. I've never met her, so I can't speak from personal experience.
Well, that's because you don't live anywhere near me, and you detest the smell of me, so you stay as far away as humanly possible. It's not my fault.
That's right.
Don't agree with me.
Hey, I mean, you just outed yourself, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what your new BO problem is, but apparently it's new since I saw you last.
Oh my God, dude. My girlfriend, she always yells at me. She's like, you stink. I'm like, well, you're dating me, so you chose this stank.
You are a sweaty human being when it's hot outside. I'll give you that. Australia was hilarious.
Shut up. That was horrible. That was horrible.
It didn't help that when we went to Australia, we went to the Florida of Australia, apparently. that is the area of Australia we went to, unbeknownst to us. Anyway.
We were just dripping.
So
I forgot where we were going in this conversation.
You said something about your girlfriend because we were talking about it. Your job is to give advice, not to just give ideas.
Oh, yes. So we were in a heated discussion. We'll put it that way. And it was basically upon the fact that, I wasn't doing something that she wanted me to do. And she said something very profound to me, but very simplistic at the exact same time. She just kind of got frustrated with me and goes, I just want to be heard. And I'm like, Well, that's
every guy has heard that at some point. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, well, I screwed that one up. But when it comes to your clients, that's exactly the same thing. They just want to be heard. They want to be understood. Right. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as you can do that, you're going to get a lot bigger response by just listening to people. Chris Voss, who we've had on the show, has a masterclass and a book and a huge company. He's the ex international, what the fuck is his title?
FBI hostage negotiator.
International hostage negotiator, yeah. And he's in kind of some of the stuff we've talked about off air and on his masterclass is that if you want someone to be, if you want to be heard, then you would repeat the last 1 to 3 words that someone would say. And I've started doing that, and it's been absolutely incredible in regards to getting people to conform with you. Thank you, man.
Yes.
Whoa, hold up. Hold on. What is it? It is Friday. It is April 30th, 2021. Matt has given me a compliment. Only took almost 6 years.
Well, much like Dr. Cox from Scrubs, you must collect them like nuts for the hard, sarcastic months. Okay, I've got a question here. I know. Okay. This is from Teddy. Says, anyone have a good script for old expireds? Old expireds, Greg.
Like old like you, or like 6 months? Or?
No, not old like me. Not old, but looks 10 years younger. Old as in they had their home on the market once.
Yeah, it's real simple. It's ring ring.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, is this Matt?
It is.
Hey, Matt. Nice to meet you. My name is Greg McDaniel. I'm with ABC Real Estate here in the area. Hey, I know you're busy. I just want to quickly ring you up. The market is super tight right now. And I saw that you were on the market back in 2018, back in September. And then you came off about 2 months later after that. And we have got such a demand right now, people clamoring to pay top dollar for any property right now. Have you ever considered maybe even putting your home back on the market, or is that not even in your wheelhouse anymore?
We thought about it. Circumstances with my job changed. It looked like I was going to get transferred, and then just life got in the way, and things just that whole transfer didn't end up going through, and sure. So we pulled it off the market. Yeah. Okay,
so the transfer didn't go through. Gotcha. Totally hear you on that one. If I was able to drop a bag of cash in your lap tomorrow, on the sale of your home, what would that number even look like? Just in case we can even have a conversation about this.
That's a good question. At the time, I don't remember exactly what we put the home up for sale at the time, but I know now based on what I'm seeing, a neighbor's house just sold, I don't know, like a block and a half down the road or something. And it's not as nice as mine. Right. I seen some of the pictures on the MLS. The bathrooms weren't as well updated, and the kitchens, let's just say it wasn't as great. Right. And it sold for like 1.2. So I feel like we probably get 1.3, 1.4 out of our property, I think.
Okay, so the kitchens and the bathrooms, the property was not as nice as yours. You obviously put some money into it. Okay, so if we were able to take that bag of cash and put maybe between 1.1 and 1.2 in that bag, would that be something you'd even consider as an opportunity?
We're in a position right now where we don't necessarily have to move. We're open to it, and sure. And there's some places that we might have in mind. If it was 1.1 to 1.2, and we're just kind of back where we were at the same spot we were a couple of years ago. I don't know. I don't know if that would interest me, honestly.
Okay, that makes total sense. Would you be open for me to come over for 5 minutes? I just want to see the upgrades because I'm a very visual person, and I just want to get in there and take a look at the property. Obviously, no obligation, nothing like that. We can get in there and just see if I can make that happen for you. Get that 1, 2, or even more. So that you guys can go to the next stratosphere. By the way, would you be staying in town or moving out of town? Where would you guys even be moving?
We'd probably. We've been thinking about moving out of town, and just we're not sure if the timing is really right. But if we were to move, it'd be out of town.
Really?
Probably up to probably Boise, something like that. I've got some relatives up in that area. It's beautiful. Similar climate to here in Northern California, but different atmosphere. And we can get a whole lot more house. I've got my 3 kids. We've reinforced all the flooring in the house, but it's still, now they're getting to the point where they're going to have to start using bunk beds, and I can't do concrete steel reinforced bunk beds in the bedrooms. So I think we're going to have to do kind of like a family compound with some larger, maybe some outbuildings to handle the growth. So yeah, I think we'd like more room to spread out.
You know what? I completely understand. You know, my sister and her husband and their 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, they actually just moved up to Grass Valley, and they bought 10 acres and a 3,800 square foot house. So they're doing the same thing. They're getting a little more space. They're spreading out, and it sounds like with your kiddos, I mean, they sound like they're about 1 ton each. So it might be some good little cottages as bedrooms, just so you can spare the floors in the property. But yeah, would you have 10 minutes for me to pop on by and just see the upgrades and then see what I can give you as a value?
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Okay, fantastic. I'll come by on blah, blah, blah date at yak time. Okay.
Sounds good. Cool. Yeah, and there's a lot there. We've dug into the scripts on the show before, but there are a couple of things to point out. Super casual. Mm-hmm. Very relaxed. I know you're stumbling intentionally. So if anybody's listening to that going, that's not super smooth and polished, that's the point. Because it literally just sounds like, Greg, you just happen to be scrolling through this on your phone and went, nah, I'll call this guy. That's, yeah, it doesn't sound like you're sitting at a dialer in a chair in an office with your suit and tie on, like it's Glengarry, Glen Ross. You don't sound like that. And that's what people expect. And you break all those expectations in the first 10 seconds of the call.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do sneezes. I'll intentionally sneeze or cough or gag on ugh! Oh my God, that was way too much water.
Really?
I am so sorry about that. Oh, anyways, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yeah, well, it is. And I get into it and I just go from there because I do the pattern interrupt immediately on that. And then I get in and I dive in. They have no clue that it's completely scripted. And that's the difference on that. But or I'll do something like since I have Rupert now, the dog. Rupert! Stop climbing on the couch! Sorry about that. My apologies.
You just sound like Will Ferrell in that sketch where he's telling his kids to get off the shed. Get off the shed. Oh my God.
Mom! Meatloaf! Fuck!
Oh my God.
And if any of you guys are listening, you cannot tell that Matt and I have an absolute blast doing this because we laugh our asses off. We find ourselves very hilarious. So.
Oh my God. Okay. I think we've got a good one here.
Okay,
so this is a question from Mahu, and I believe I'm probably butchering that name, but that is how it's spelled. It says, I do lots of circle prospecting using numbers I bought from Kohl's and Dial with Mojo dialers. I get this a lot when I call and ask if they have any interest selling their house, and they ask how much. How do you reply to this? Is my goal to make a listing appointment? So that's interesting. This is kind of the flip side. So if you called me up and said, if you're interested, and I go, well, it depends. How much can I get? How would you respond to that?
I would say, well, Moo, I don't know. I've never been in your house before. I mean, I'm seeing some of the photos here, but I haven't seen every single upgrade. I mean, based upon the cursory data that I'm looking at, I mean, you can get anywhere from probably $700,000 to $800,000 for your property. But for me, I would need to get in there and take a look at it. As you can tell, I'm a very, very proactive marketer. That's why we're talking right now. Do you have maybe 5 or 10 minutes? I can come over and take a look at it, see the upgrades, and then I can keep this in the back of my brain in regards to when I talk to additional buyers and I can start a marketing campaign off market for you.
No, I'm not comfortable with that. I can literally feel you sweating on the other. I know that you're sweaty. I'm not sure how I know that, but I know that you're sweaty. So no, I don't want you into my house. But
no problem. And why don't we just do a video tour? I mean, you can just show me around your house if you can. I'll give you.
Damn it! It's a good objection handler. And end scene. We got it. That's. I just wanted to give you a hard time. Okay. So you basically just redirect them into I don't know because I haven't seen the inside of your property yet. That's good. I don't know if would you go any deeper on that and explain why you need to see the inside of the home, the upgrades, and yada yada, or do people just kind of grasp that immediately?
Well, I would do this. I say, well, I don't know. I've never been inside your home. I haven't come over for Christmas parties.
All right, that's good.
And I say, look, my father's been doing real estate for 50 years, and you guys can use any other terminology there at all. But you say, you know what, I learned, or someone who hasn't had a father in the business for 50 years say something like this. You know what? I heard from a top trainer in my industry that, you can't sell a loaf of bread if the bread's in the back room. And so what I need to do is come in and see what your home looks like so I can accurately depict it to the future buyers and talk about the great countertops, the wonderful floors, the finish levels, the crown molding, the baseboards, the back door, in the backyard, because a photo can only do so much. So
that is true. But Greg, do you want to bring me a buyer or do you want to list my home?
Actually, I want to do neither. I don't want to list your home. I'm not here to list your home. I'm here to help you sell your home. So you know what? If I can do it on either way, either bring in a buyer or help you get it on the market, it'd be my pleasure. But I still would love to see it so that I know what I'm talking about so I don't misrepresent you. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's good. All right. I'll let you pass on that one.
You'll let me pass on that one.
That was good. No, I like it. I'm not here to list it. I'm here to sell it. And that means either way, which in your team is correct. Now, if you're a listing agent only, because I've heard guys like Aaron Wittenstein, guys like Greg Harrelson say this, you just be honest and be direct. Like, absolutely, I want to list your home. Like, I know I can sell it because I have a marketing plan. This is what I specialize. This is all I do all day is I get homes sold. I don't work with buyers. We have a whole team of people. We have a whole database of potential buyers. Like, that's covered. There's plenty of buyers out there. That's not the issue. The issue is it's not being marketed and presented to them properly, and that's what I specialize in doing. So you can go, like, there's good answers for it either way. Yes. I would say if you don't work with any buyers, if you don't have a database of buyers or any access to something like that, like, don't lie ever.
No, never.
Just find a way to attractively present the truth, whatever that truth is in your case, whatever you specialize in. If you specialize in buyers, that's an easy answer because it's yes. Right. Mm-hmm. But if you specialize in listing, there's still an answer for it where it's authentically true and it positions you as exactly what that person should want to come and list their property. So let's finish out with a couple more.
Okay. Let me tag on to the back of that because I think you brought a lot of good content there. You're right. At all costs, never, ever fucking lie. Ever. If they ask you a direct question, give a direct answer. And I was honest in regards to the fact that I said, I don't want your listing because sometimes listings are a super pain in the nuts.
Yeah. You are really picky when it comes to that.
Yeah. And so they drive me banana cakes at times. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to list your house. Maybe I can't work with you. And I throw this in there as well. I say, you know what? Why don't we meet together? And so that you can see if I'm the right agent for you and if you're the right client for me. And that's the takeaway method. Again, people freak the fuck out when they're like, what do you mean I'm not the right client for you? Of course I'm the right client. Bitch, list my motherfucking house. But I don't know, man. I gotta see it, to understand it. And then they're like, oh, how could you not want to list my house? I'm like, I didn't say that. I just said I might not be the right agent for you. You might not be the right client for me. Let's see if we can work together. Mm-hmm. So little tidbits there. But let's finish this thing out. We're a couple of minutes deep into this bad boy.
Well, first of all, just before we finish out with a couple more questions, what's the best way for people to reach out? And you mentioned like the whole moving thing. If you want to be able to make that same offer, that's very easy. It's just joining up with the EXP team. How do they learn more about that?
So you guys go ahead and DM me on Instagram or Facebook. Just look for my beautiful, handsome mug. I'll be this 6'5" Sasquatch on all things on Instagram and Facebook. You'll see
that's literal. That is not your actual username. You are Greg McDaniel, REU on Instagram.
And then Greg McDaniel here, obviously on Facebook. Reach out to me, guys. Talk. Here's the funny thing. I actually reached out to Jake Wolf, the CEO of Clever Leads, spelled with a K, yesterday when I had this random phone call that just came through. And it came through like 5 freaking times. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And so I picked up the call. I was actually recording for In Mid News with Bernice Ross. And I'm like, Bernice, hold on a second. Hello, Greg. Oh, yes? Oh, hi. And the conversation went from there. And a gal that I'm listing her condo in my complex was having a conversation with another friend in the neighborhood. And she's like, did you know that this guy, Greg, who I'm listing my home with, is going to move me for free from here to Salt Lake City? And so the moving thing is absolutely blowing up. It's insane how powerful this is. So reach out to me, guys. Let's have a conversation about it. It's going to be awesome.
Very cool. Okay. So This is a question from Jeff. What objection are you hearing the most right now, Greg?
Where am I going to move?
Because they want to stay in town and they want to sell, but they're like, where would I move to not get trapped by the same high prices?
Yeah, where am I going to go? I can't find anything on the market, and then I jump right into the fact that, well, I'm a very proactive marketer. That's why we're talking on the phone right now. I talk to a lot of folks, and I can easily find you a top agent in any marketplace you're looking for. All you have to do is tell me where you're going to go, and we can take steps from there. So I start off with that, and then I build into relationship building. I want to start picking on the fact, like, do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have dogs, cats, goldfish, parrots, snakes? I mean, what is your flavor of choice? Why are you making the move? When did you get into your business? Would you do your business again? Why are they making the move? Be persistently curious about the other person. Allow them to talk, because everybody's favorite conversation topic is themselves at every single time. I mean, every time I talk to you, Matt, the only thing you do is talk about what you're doing. You never ask about me. I mean, it's just, it's heart-wrenching.
I don't even notice it because I just do it so naturally. I don't even notice that you're there. Yes, I agree. Dig in, be pleasantly persistent, and really you're digging in to find the core why. Always. Yeah. Yes, and Brian Offner, previous guest of the show, says facts. Absolutely. Let's finish out with this question. This is from Carol. Says she is the buyer's agent. Her buyers are looking at a property listed at 1-1.
Okay, so wait. So she's representing the buyer.
Yep.
1-1
They
purchase.
found a house. It's listed for 1-1. The cash buyers surprised her by wanting to offer $900K. So we're talking about 200. Yeah, over 200 grand off the actual exact listing price. The house has stunning red rock views. This is in like Sedona, Arizona. Needs some updating, but 900K is ridiculous. Do you write the offer? Greg, I know you've dealt with this before.
Is it ridiculously high or ridiculously low?
It's 200 grand under offer. So we're assuming it's ridiculously low.
Okay, so make that assumption.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have a real conversation. I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you know what? We looked at this home. We've been looking for X amount of time. This is something that you can see that you want to live in this home. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So we know that we've lost out on a couple of other offers. And, I know that you're all cash. I understand that. But how would you feel if someone came and offered you $200,000 under the offer price if you were selling that home? I let them answer, right? So just play it out. What would you answer?
You mean me as an empathetic, normal human being? I would never do that. But let me play the role of someone who doesn't give a flying fuck. Who's the person that wanted to write that offer up in the first place? Which is, well, honestly, I don't know, and I don't care. Like, this is the only way this home works for us is if we can get it for 900K. I can't offer 1.1. I just can't do it. It's not worth it. Blah 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 blah. Excuses. But right. The bottom line is we can't. Like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to offer them full listing price. I just absolutely will not do it. It's an issue of my manhood and pride, Greg. Okay,
not a problem. I hear about manhood. I see where you're coming from on that. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to reach out to the listing agent. I'm going to do a very 10,000-foot conversation with them. I'm not going to tell them what our potential offer price would be, but I'm going to see if there might be a little wiggle room in the negotiation there. And if they're going to get a billion offers, then we probably shouldn't waste your time and your energy to sign the documents and read over everything. But let me just initially figure out where these sellers' heads are at. Maybe they're more interested in just getting moving sooner, or they're looking for the top price that's ever been sold in the neighborhood. So right. Let me have that conversation, and then I'll come back to you, and we'll just see where it goes. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So what I'm doing there is I'm putting all the I know the agent's going to go tell them to go fuck myself, right? But I'm also not going to disclose the price point that we're going to be offering.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let it kind of settle for a minute, and then when I come back to them, I'm going to relay whatever conversation took place with the listing agent, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to say, look, man, do you want to try to buy this house, or do you just want to buy the damn thing?
Right.
It's up to you. What would you like to do?
Yeah. Yep. And that's when the guy looks at his significant other and goes, all right, we'll just go by it.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1, 2.
All right. That's a good spot to leave off. We had some really good questions today. So guys, keep them coming. Make sure to keep posting them in the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. We keep an eye on that. It's where we pull all of our questions anytime we do kind of one of these open Q&A sessions. So make sure to throw your questions in there. Plus you'll get some really good responses from folks like Brian Offner or Aaron Wittenstein that is in that group. There's a bunch of other folks in that group as well that give really good answers. There's some times you'll get some wacky answers that you should absolutely not take that advice, but that's okay. It's an open Facebook group, and that's what happens. So we've already talked about where you can connect with Greg, so you should do that. For the show itself, here's what we would love for you to do. Go leave a 5-star rating or a review. Let us know what you like about the show. If there's a particular guest that you like, make sure to give them a shout out, because that does a couple of things. It feeds the algorithm. So the show reaches more people, gives it more credibility. So when people stumble onto the show, they go, okay, this is a legitimate show. People enjoy it. This seems like my kind of thing that I want to try out. And they're more likely to give the show a chance. And as well, it just tells Apple that it's a reputable show. And so we climb the charts and maybe get put in front of some more people. We've got a gentleman from South Africa checking us out right now, which
Matthew.
is crazy. It is late in the day on Friday in South Africa. It's like 7 or 8 o'clock there right now. So we appreciate you tuning in on a Friday night. Happy Friday. And let's see. We need a color of the bow that we're going to wrap around this gift of an episode.
Matt, I know what color you should pick.
Oh, you're picking the color. All right.
No, I'm not. I'm doing a strong suggestion.
Okay, go ahead.
Turn around and look over your right shoulder. What is a color of something that you may or may not have written that's behind you?
That is the Microfamous book. And it is red. It is a beautiful shade of red. EE3, E35 on the hex code. It is a beautiful shade of deep red. That's the 6-digit hex code for the color of red. Microfamous red.
Okay.
Just in case anybody wondered. That is the color of the bow that we are tying around this gift of an episode. So, Greg, anything else we should cover?
No, guys. We love you to pieces. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you for everybody who watches and listens and tunes in either on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, podcasts, anywhere you guys get your podcasts, earballs full of all of our illustrious voices. Matt and I love you to pieces. Matt has a piece of coal for a heart, but it's starting to warm up. So it might spark fire. He might actually want to talk to you guys, but I am a loving soul and I would love to speak with any of you. So you guys can call me at 402-313-9251. That will be Matt's direct cell phone. So reach out to him. You can call me 925-915-1978. That was a fake number for Matt, but my number was real. So yeah, that's how you reach out to us. We love you. We appreciate you. And until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.